Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into, well, a truly thought-provoking, maybe even radical perspective on something humans have chased forever: longevity. What if, everything we thought we knew about living longer, especially with advanced medicine, was maybe fundamentally misguided? Our source today is this really intriguing piece called Organ Transplants, an illusion of longevity. It's written by Fuqi Wu, also known as Abo, and their AI advisor team. Published in Taipei, September 5th, 2025. And it doesn't just make an argument, it lays out this very specific, pretty challenging viewpoint, really makes you rethink things. So, our mission today, let's unpack this unique perspective, understand the core arguments, explore why these authors believe that organ replacement, our current approach, might actually be an illusion, a false hope. We'll also dig into what the source thinks is the real path to a longer life. And, what that could mean for all of us. Okay, so where do Wu and the team even begin with this pretty radical critique? They immediately zero in on something we see a lot, right? This common belief, especially maybe among the wealthy or powerful,
that just replacing a failing organ is like a direct shortcut to a longer life.
Yeah, it's that idea of, okay, kidney fails, get a kidney transplant, liver has fibrosis, liver transplant, even hearts, lungs, treating them almost like parts in a car you can just swap out when they wear down.
That's a very mechanical view, isn't it? Almost like engineering the body.
It is, and that's exactly what the article pushes back against. What's fascinating, really, is they don't just describe this belief. They immediately call it an illusion, right off the bat.
An illusion. Okay, that's strong. Why? I mean, these procedures are technologically advanced. They do save lives in many cases. So why call it an illusion?
Well, their core reason is pretty stark. They argue the new organ, no matter how perfect or pristine it is, it gets immediately dropped into an already highly toxic internal environment inside the old body.
Ah.
Think of it like putting a brand new, perfectly clean filter into a machine that's still just pumping sludge through its system.
That's quite an image.
Yeah.
A new filter in a sludge-filled system.
Yeah.
But I mean, people do get years, sometimes decades, more life from transplants. Quality of life often improves dramatically. We see that success. How does the article square that clinical reality, which is undeniable, with this idea of it being an illusion? Seems like a bit of a conflict there.
That's a really fair point. And the article, well, it addresses it by sort of reframing what that success actually is. It acknowledges, yes, you get more time, life is extended, but it frames it as postponing death, not achieving, true holistic longevity.
Okay, so buying time, not fixing the core problem.
Exactly. Their argument is that even these successful transplants are just borrowed time within a system that's fundamentally still degrading. Other organs are already stressed, already compromised. The underlying issue, the toxicity, hasn't actually been fixed. It's just been momentarily bypassed.
And this internal toxicity they keep mentioning, they get specific about it, right?
Oh, incredibly detailed. This is where it gets really interesting.
So they detail why this internal environment is supposedly so toxic. They describe the blood itself as, quote, still contaminated with toxins. And the interstitial fluid, that's the fluid of bathing all our cells, right?
Yep.
Vitally important.
Absolutely critical, yeah.
They see it still carrying acid-base imbalances. Now, for anyone not deep into biochemistry, that basically means the body's fundamental chemical balance, its pH, is off.
And if that's off, I mean, everything struggles, all the biochemical reactions your body relies on.
Right, and it doesn't stop there. The source even claims every single breath we take is still introducing more ultrafine toxins.
Yep.
So, if that's the environment inside us, what happens to that brand new, expensive, life-giving organ?
Well, according to the article, it will soon be infected and, quote, quickly repeat the old organ's failures.
Wow. So it's destined to fail too, eventually, because of the environment it's put into.
That's the core argument. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, the article really hammers this point. The human body isn't just like a bag of parts you can stack together or replace individually. It's a holistic system. That distinction is absolutely critical for these authors.
Holistic system, not just parts.
Right. So they argue when one organ fails because toxins have built up, that's actually a sign that the entire body's toxin saturation has already crossed some kind of critical threshold.
Ah, so it's not just a local problem in that one organ.
Yeah.
It's a sign the whole system is overloaded.
Precisely. It's a systemic crisis, not just a localized malfunction. And thinking of the body as just a machine with replaceable parts, from this viewpoint, it fundamentally misses the point. It misunderstands how interconnected everything is.
It's a critique of the whole fix-it-when-it-breaks approach to medicine, then.
You could definitely see it that way, yeah. It challenges that entire paradigm.
And this holistic view, it paints a much Well, a much grimmer picture for people relying on organ replacement, doesn't it? The source describes this scenario. It sounds pretty bleak. Even with a new organ, other organs are already, on the verge of dysfunction.
Mm-hmm. And they describe what they call a vicious cycle. You replace one organ, but because the underlying systemic problem, the toxicity isn't fixed. It just paves the way for the next organ to fail.
Oh, boy.
They give these really stark examples like, after a kidney transplant, the liver fails. Then after a liver transplant, the heart fails. And after a heart transplant, the brain is damaged.
Wow. So it's just dominoes falling.
That's the picture they paint. An endless downward slope is how they put it, ultimately leading to total system collapse.
It really makes you wonder about the long-term data, the truly long-term outcomes. Are we seeing the full picture?
Or are we just patching leaks, like you said earlier, patching leaks on a boat caught in a constant storm maybe, without ever addressing the storm itself?
Exactly. So this perspective really forces us to think about our internal health, not just cell by cell, but as this ongoing battle against, pervasive contamination. Which then leads to the big question. If replacing organs is, in their view, an illusion, what is the real root cause of organ failure?
According to this article, it's crystal clear. The long-term accumulation of toxins within the body.
Okay, toxin accumulation.
But critically, and this is key, they argue these aren't just internally generated problems, they are largely environmental.
Environmental, so coming from outside us.
Primarily, yes, that's their focus, which fundamentally shifts the conversation, doesn't it? It's not just about our individual bodies anymore.
It becomes about the very air we breathe, the spaces we live in, a much broader societal thing.
A societal and environmental concern, absolutely.
So it's not just some vague toxic environment idea. They actually point fingers, so to speak. They name specific sources for these toxins in our everyday lives.
They do get specific. They identify acid-base molecules in the air, for one. Also, ultrafine suspended particles. Think microscopic pollutants, soot, things like that, floating in the air.
Things we breathe in constantly, often without realizing it.
Exactly. And also, quote, chemical harm that cannot be escaped in enclosed buildings.
Enclosed buildings, like our homes, our offices, places we think are safe.
That's the implication, that even indoors we're constantly exposed to things that are harmful.
Wow. The implication there is pretty profound. Our external world is actively degrading our internal health, leading to organ failure, even when we're just living.
It's a sobering thought, yeah?
It really does make you stop and think, doesn't it? About the air quality in your own home, your workplace. The air we assume is clean might actually be eroding our health slowly.
That seems to be the core message. So if that's the problem, the toxic environment,
then the solution they propose must be pretty radical, too.
It is. They argue that true longevity isn't achieved by swapping organs. It's achieved by fundamentally changing the environment we live in.
Changing the environment itself.
Well, they make a very specific, perhaps even futuristic-sounding claim. They state that, quote, only when humans completely change the air they live in.
Completely change the...
But by using something like the Air 6No Maze purification system to block toxins, only then does the human body truly have a chance for longevity.
An Air 6No Maze purification system. That sounds specific. Not just like a better HEPA filter.
From the context, it definitely suggests something more comprehensive, maybe architectural, like building environments that are completely sealed off from external pollutants, creating pristine internal atmospheres.
So it's a total paradigm shift. Environmental engineering is the ultimate health solution, maybe even more than medical intervention.
That's certainly the direction it points, a complete rethink.
So the core message then really boils down to address the root cause, not just the symptom. And this perspective argues that without this kind of radical environmental change, any new organ, no matter how successfully transplanted, just postpones death.
Right. It doesn't grant true longevity in their view. They talk about needing to, quote, block toxins, delay saturation, and protect the entire system. That, they say, is the only righteous path for humanity.
And they even mention something called the substitute death black box having significance here. That sounds quite sci-fi.
It does. It hints at a very specific technology or maybe a bioengineered approach tied into this environmental control idea, suggesting a level of mastery over our biology and environment way beyond current mainstream thinking.
Yeah, it completely reframes the whole conversation.
Yeah.
It takes health and lifespan from being purely personal, maybe medical issues, and makes them these huge environmental and systemic challenges. So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, listening? This deep dive into Fuchi Wu's perspective is, well, undeniably challenging. It suggests that even with amazing medical tech, if we ignore the fundamental environmental drivers of illness, the air, the spaces we occupy, we might just be caught in this illusion of longevity, just kicking the can down the road, not really extending healthy life.
Yeah, and the real takeaway maybe isn't just about transplants. It's about that bigger shift in thinking. Are we just treating symptoms that arise from a sick environment? Or are we ready to address health right at its core, which might mean looking outside our own bodies?
This perspective definitely encourages that critical thinking, doesn't it? Moving beyond the immediate fix.
It really does. It shifts the focus, like we said, from repairing the individual parts to understanding and maybe transforming the whole system. And that system includes our bodies and our environment. They're inseparable in this view.
It makes us ask, what hidden assumptions are we making when we try to fix complex systems like our own biology? And just how much does our immediate environment shape our health, our destiny, in ways we maybe don't even fully grasp yet?
It's definitely a provocative view. It challenges us to really reconsider what a cure even means and maybe where the ultimate responsibility for human health actually lies. Something to think about.